Welcome to South Asia. This is Reddy, your facilitator for South Asia educational channel that brings the cultural, geographical, historical knowledge of South Asia, south of Karakoram Mountains and north of Kanyakumari. We are continuing our journey in the fascinating land of Punjab, the land of Sheri Punjab, Maharaja Ranjit Singh. And in the previous presentations, we looked at the geographical, historical, and cultural regions of Punjab, like Potwar Plateau, Salt Range, and Cholistan Desert, and Thal region. Various rivers. Also, we looked at a couple of presentations. Now, I will talk about the DOABS in this particular. This is not a specific to all the DOABS. I am going to deal each individual DOAB region in Punjab. So, today's discussion is about Punjab geography, DOABS, BARI Doab. The BARI Doab, this is the BARI Doab, and to put the things in the context for the listeners who are coming to this presentation, a Doab means a Persian word for a body of water. Here the rivers are taken as a body of water. Punjab has 5 major tributaries of Sindhu Darya or mighty Sindhu River or Indus River. If this is one water body, say this is the Ravi River, and this is other water body, Sutlej River. This is one Ab, this is other Ab. The land between these two Abs is called Doab. Dwa means the Sanskrit origin, the word Dvi or Do, Doab, Dvi Ab, that eventually become in the local language Doabs or Doab region or Doab region. There are 5 such Abs in historical Punjab, so it is 5 Abs, Panch Abs or Punjab. That is the Jalandhar Doab here. This is the Sutlej River and Bias River, Jalandhar Doab or Bist Doab. This is the Bari Doab. This is the Rechna Doab. And this is Jech Doab, this is Sindh Sagar Doab. Easy to remember is you have Sindh River, Sindh Sagar Doab. We have a Jalandhar Doab or Bias Sutlej Doab, Jalandhar Doab. These are very easy to remember too. If you remember, and always remember the BARI Doab. The BARI Doab is the cultural heartland of Punjab. This you should never forget. BARI Doab, where the Lahore city, Amritsar city, and Multan city, these geographical regions are located. Other important Doab after the introduction of canal colonies, canal colonization, irrigation, after the British annexed the Khalsa kingdom during the regime of Lord Dalhousie in 1849 April, they introduced a lot of canal irrigation and started canal colonies and resettling the population from Purbiya districts, East Punjab districts to West Punjab, Jangli region, or less sparsely populated arid region because of canal irrigation. So then Rechna Doab also became very important Doab, especially centered around Faisalabad city. And this is the other Doab, Chas Doab. So here we are talking about BARI Doab. BARI Doab, the word Bari means we have Bias River here, around about 500 kilometers or so. The Bias River starts in Rohtang Pass. We looked, goes to the Manali and Kulu and Larji and Mandi and Gobipur, and at Mirtal it skids into the Punjab plains, continued at Harike Patan. It joins Sutlej now. That means in the modern times. But historically, the river Bias used to continue flow independently in parallel along with the Sutlej River used to join the Chenab River. That's why the historical name between this is the Ravi River, this is the Bias River. So Bias and Ravi, if you add these together, that is the BARI Doab. You may ask, Bias is spelled A and B-A-Y. This is the analogy or conflicting means. This is how when you translate the word from the English language into the local Punjabi language or Sharaik or Riyasi, this happens. These names now stuck and they are used commonly. That's how it goes. The Bias River, B, you can say Ravi River, or Bias Ravi is BARI Doab, because it's the land between the Ravi River and Bias River. We mean the old Bias River. After Bias River changed its course recently, instead of joining in the Multan region and Chenab River, now Bias River joins Sutlej directly at Harike Patan between the Firozpur district and Amritsar or Taran district or Patti district, so on. So Harike Patan here. Now we have Ravi River here. The Ravi River we saw rises north of Dhauladhar mountains here and south of Pir Panjal. It is hemmed by Pir Panjal in the north and Dhauladhar in the south. Starts at Barabangal area near Brahmaur, continues and goes to the city of Chamba, the former princely state, takes the western turn and goes through into the Punjab plain and enters the Punjab plain near Madhopur town. That is entry point into the Maharaja Hari Singh's kingdom. That the Dogra kingdom or the princely state of Jammu and Kashmir. At that time, the continues its journey. The Ravi River, the most important river, the historic city of Lahore, resides on the river and continues its journey, and at a place called Ahmadpur Siyal, the river joins Chenab River, because Chenab is a big river around about 1200 kilometers and Ravi itself is a tributary of Chenab. So we have Ravi River here, we have Bias River here, so this is the BARI Doab. The Doab is, over the millennia, the river cuts deeper into the soil. This is the entire area, alluvial plain. In the surrounding, this area becomes elevated, is called a flat land, a bed, that is called bar, B-A-R, bar. As the population grow, now a lot of people, now all the urbanization people reside here, but historically only the river beds surrounding areas were formed and colonized by the people, and this area, the bar area, was left, and most of it was a forested area and things like that. There are two such bars in the BARI Doab. The bar north of the old Bias bed, this is the Bias bed somewhere in the middle here, is called Ganji Bar. The bar south of old Bias bed is called Nili Bar. The famous cattle, Nili, Ravi, the cattle are domesticated in this area, they come from this area. So that is about the BARI Doab. Here I have given the BARI Doab, some of the important districts and regions, and we will see what are the districts that are located in BARI Doab. When you talk about the districts, now there are many districts. At the partition time, there were around about 30 districts. There were the 5 divisions in British Punjab. British Punjab, in the spatio-temporal history of Punjab region, it started in 1849 or 1846, you can say more or less. At that time, it became the virtual protectorate of East India Company when the first Anglo-Sikh war, the Khalsa kingdom lost the war, and British occupied the entire Punjab but still they kept the successor of Maharaja Ranjit Singh's youngest son Dilip Singh Maharaja as a nominal puppet ruler. After 2 years, again one more second war broke down, and Lord Dalhousie, the Governor General of Presidency of Fort William, that is a very big high sounding name for Presidency of Bengal. At that time there was a Presidency of Bengal, Presidency of Madras, Presidency of Bombay, and so on. The Presidency of Bengal, the in charge is the Governor General of all the dominions under British East India Company Bahadur. That's a different story. So Lord Dalhousie decided to annex Punjab completely. So in April, the Treaty of Lahore was signed. Maharaja gave the authorities signed a document that he or any descendants of his alliance will have no claim on Punjab territory anymore. He was pensioned off, converted into Christian, and sent back to England, and was raised on the British culture most of the time, and he was married to a British lady also. That is a different story. So the Punjab in 1849 became the part of British East India Company Bahadur's territory. At that time they established a board of government, a board of administration whose in charge was Henry Lawrence, and they started consolidating and forming the districts. That's why we take these districts as a standard, and these districts with some minor changes survived nearly for 100 years, and until the 1947 partition independence. So that's the why I am giving only those districts. All this is about why we settled for only few districts. Other reason is, if I start giving the latest districts of West Punjab and East Punjab, there will be so many humongous. Most of the audience or people are coming to this presentation first time will be totally overwhelmed, and I don't want to do that. That will be the latter future talks where we can see the evolution of the districts in Purbi Punjab, that is East Punjab, east of Radcliffe Line, and Paschim Punjab, the west of Radcliffe Line. This is Darul Islam. This is the Islamic land populated by the Mu'mins, believers. It is a paradise. It's a Illam, the lighted land. Other land east of Radcliffe Line, east of symbolic Ravi River, is Darul Harb. Enemy's land, the land need to be put to sword. Its residents, Kafirs, the scum of the earth, has to be converted into Mu'mins. That is the Islamic theology. So, that's in brief. We are talking about only this district. So, we are setting only few districts here for simplicity and easy understanding. So, these are the districts we start. Remember, in Punjab, BARI Doab is the heartland of Punjab, is called Maza. Maza or Mazali is a resident of Maza. Maza means in Punjabi a central, the focal, the heart, the brain. And Lahore, Amritsar, Mulastan, these are the very important urban centers since long time. When the Islamic imperialism entered India through Muhammad bin Qasim as an invader, during the time of Umayyad Caliphs around about 712, they first waged Ghazwa on Sindh, conquered it. Eventually they waged the Ghazwa on Multan, the northern part, also conquered it. That means since almost 700 years is an Islamic territory. So it is Darul Islam. So, the Maja region or BARI Doab is the part of Maja region, heartland of Punjab. It starts from Pathankot at foothills of the Sivalik mountains and ends at almost Uch Sharif, that again is an important medieval time Islamic center. Uch Sharif, where the river Satluj meets river Chenab, near Alipur, Uch Sharif, that is near south of Multan or Mulastan. From Uch Sharif to Pathankot in Gurdaspur district is called BARI Doab. It is Maja, the heartland of Punjab. We have Multan district here. We have Multan here, Sujabad Taluk here. We have Lodran Taluk, and we have Kabirwala here, and we have Kanewal here. Shahiwal is the other name for Montgomery district. Montgomery was the governor of Punjab, or lieutenant governor, whatever it may be. After Lawrence brothers, they quit the office years later. When Canal Colony district started, this jungle area was started as a major canalization process. The district was named after the particular Governor General Montgomery. So it's a Montgomery district, now it's called Shahiwal districts. So it has the historic city of Dipalpur here, and this is opposite to Fazilka in the Firozpur, that is the south of Satluj River. We have Fazilka in the Firozpur district of truncated East Punjab, and Dipalpur, and we have Pakpatan, and we have Wakara and Shahiwal. Now they have a lot of other districts like Arifwala, Burewala, Vihari, so on, and we don't deal them with much. Okay, next comes the heartland. In the heartland itself, the Lahore. After the collapse of Hindu Shahiyas due to continuous Ghazwa, jihad by Islamic sword arm of Muslim empire theology led by Ghaznavi ruler Anandapal and those rulers, finally they collapsed, they conquered. The Muslims finally established their Darul Islam, Islamic empire in the eastern part of Punjab at Lahore, round about 1000 AD and so on. So the Lahore Islamized during the last 700-800 years due to continuous Muslim the domination, rule and conversion and so on. So the Lahore district, it has like Kasur in the southern part, Chunian and Raiwind and Lahore. And then we have Amritsar district. The Amritsar district and Amritsar and Patti, Taran and Ajnala. Going further in the BARI Doab, we have Gurdaspur district, Batala and Gurdaspur, Pathankot. One important thing when you talk about Doabs, there is a conflict with district formation and Doab and rivers. Here there is an important thing. Gurdaspur district has 4 taluks, tehsil, subdivisions of a district. We have Batala here, Gurdaspur here, at the mountainous sub-mountain region, Pathankot here. Across the river, Ravi. These are the Cis Ravi taluks, 3. Trans Ravi taluk, called Shakargarh taluk, is across the river Ravi. Even though it is not in the BARI Doab, it is actually in the Rechna Doab. We will cover that later, Rechna Doab. This is Rechna Doab, this is a BARI Doab. That's just to mention. And technically speaking, that's the entire BARI Doab and mostly the Lahore region, Amritsar region, Gurdaspur region, and Shahiwal district and Montgomery district and Multan district. And technically speaking, these are Punjabi speaking districts, or Punjabi or Saraiki or Riyasti, Jengli, those Punjabi dialect speaking areas. Across, once you cross across the Bias, this is also Bias River, right? Still we have Bias River. Bias River goes from here, Mirtal, it goes to Mandi, it goes to Kullu and Larji, and Ravi River in Brahma, Barabangal here. There is the Dauladar Mountains. It's a Kangra Valley or Bias Valley. Technically, this is also BARI Doab. We have, because Ravi River, across the Dauladar Mountains, and Bias River south of the other mountains. But generally it is not considered a part of BARI Doab because the language spoken is Kangri or Pahadi or a western branch of Hindi. That is, That is something. And Kangra district as a Kulu region, Lahul Spiti is a trans-Himalayan region. So that's the region. But technically, if you want to make a point, you can say between Bias and Ravi, this is also BARI Doab. But most people doesn't consider it. So that's what we talked about today. And let's go and see in the Google map how the BARI Doab looks like. Where are we? And to put the point, we have the truncated East Punjab here, the Lahore. This is our context, starting point. Remember BARI Doab, the Lahore is the heartland and Multan is also heartland. From Multan, we have Multan district here, we have Kanewala and we have Suzabad here, and Multan district where this is the Sutlej River, it joins in which Serif. You can see which Serif here, you can see which Serif there, you can see, and across the which Serif, and you have Alipur, that's the joining point of Chenab River in the north with Sutlej River in the south, and that's the beginning point of Panjnad River, a short river that joins Sindhu River or Indus River. So the old Bias bed we are not showing you here. This is the Nili Bar. Bar is an elevated tableland between the rivers in the Doab. So that is especially that Lodran and Malisi and Pakpatan and those areas. You can see the Pakpatan, the historic city of Pakpatan. So this is essentially Sahiwal region. You can see Sahiwal actually. That is the Montgomery district. So we have Multan district, we have Montgomery district, and of course once we cross that, and we have Pakpatan and Wakara, and we have Lahore. The Lahore and Chunian will be there, Raiwind you can see, and we see the Kasur. You see Kasur across the Firozpur. We have Sulemanki, the headwaters here, the Weir Area Dam here. And then we enter into the Amritsar district. Still the Ravi River goes here. In the Lahore you have Amritsar and Taran, and we enter, I have highlighted Gurdaspur district, Batala here, and Gurdaspur, Pathankot at the Siwaliks mountain, foothills of Siwaliks mountain. Then we have the Kangra valley. These are the Dauladhar mountains. This is the Dauladhar mountain you can see. This is the Ravirian near Brahma, and these are the Pir Panjal, right? And the same thing we are looking at a different perspective. This give a different perspective, maybe better perspective. We can see the Multan district. This is the Sutlej River from here. Sutlej River, Bahawalpur is on the Sutlej River here. And this is the former princely state of Bahawalpur. Nawabu used to rule there. You have Multan, you have Kanewal. This is the Multan district, Vehari, and Pakpatan. This is the Shahiwal district or Montgomery district. Then Wakara area in the Shahiwal district, and you will have Pakpatan, Dipalpur somewhere. Yeah, you have Pakpatan here, Dipalpur here, and Wakara. Then you have Lahore district, Kasur and Chunian. We continue our journey upstream of the BARI Doab. We have Amritsar and Taran, and we cross the Amritsar district. We have Ajnala will be somewhere here. Then we have Gurdaspur district, Batala here, Gurdaspur district, and this is the Pathankot. Once you cross the Pathankot across the river Ravi, the Radcliffe line, you enter into Maharaja Hari Singh Dogras territory of princely state of Kashmir in 1947 partition time. And I want to show this Shakkargarh. That is, remember, Gurdaspur, this is the Shakkargarh Tehsil, and you see the Shakkargarh, hope Yeah, you see so the Sekargar Tehsil across the river Ravi, and you see Sekargar Tehsil here. That was one of the four tehsils or taluks, subdivisions of subdivisions of a district, Gurdaspur district. This is the Radcliffe line. The BARI Doab upper region has a Radcliffe line. Radcliffe line you can see is a knife, Islamic knife that sliced away the Kafiri land and throw away. And annexed the Darul Islam in this region to the Arabian religion, the Islamdom in the world, to the Ummah. That is the symbolic line Radcliffe Award given by the Cyril Radcliffe, British judge, and we have Pathankot, and we have Dhauladhar mountains here, and the Kangra valley here. So, that is in general, we talked about BARI Doab today. See, the Doab, we discussed the concept of the Ab as a water body, DOABS having the two rivers, the water between the rivers, and the elevated area within the Doab is called Bar. We in the BARI Doab, the name comes from the Bias River in the south, which originates at Rohtang Pass, goes to the Kulu Valley, Manali Valley, and Kangra Valley, and enters into the Punjab plains near Pathankot, south of Pathankot, and old Bias River still has a bed. South of that is called Nili Bar, north of it is called Ganji Bar, and we looked at the important historical British time districts. In the British time, the British Punjab survived nearly 100 years or so, and 1849 to 1947 it has 5 divisions: Rawalpindi division, Multan division, Central Lahore division, and Eastern Jalandhar division. Southern Haryanvi speaking Ambala division or Delhi division, and most we talked about the BARI Doab part here with Lahore, Multan district, Montgomery district, Lahore district, Amritsar district, Gurdaspur district, and Trans Ravi Tehsil of Shekargar that was awarded to Darul Islam, West Punjab and Pakistan. Yes, Islam sliced the major part of BARI Doab to Darul Islam. It left only Amritsar district, that is Taran Taran, Aznala, Amritsar, Batala, Gurdaspur and Pathankot to Darul Harb, the impure land, that what Punjabi brothers considered their fellow Punjabi Hindus and Sikhs as a kafirs and the scum of the earth is not worth as impure people, and discarded them. So that is in general about the fascinating history and geography of culture of BARI Doab, the heartland, the Maza, the focal point. Almost the entire BARI Doab is Maza, heartland, because historically Mulastan, Multan, Lahore city, Pathankot, all these are well populated and governed and civilized. Rich agriculture, commerce, trade survived it. When Jalaluddin Akbar first invaded, and he was made Emperor Badshah of Hindustan, a small Hindustan, at Kalanaur in Gurdaspur district. Lahore for most part served as temporarily the headquarters, military headquarters of the Mughal emperors when they were fighting the border wars with the frontier Pashtun tribes in this area, and so on. So that is the Maja, the heartland of Punjab, BARI Doab, that is the Bias River, Bias River, Ravi River interflow. So that's what I wanted to discuss with you today, and this is Reddy, your facilitator for educational channel South Asia Maps, Images and Icons. Please give your feedback and comments and subscriptions and suggestions and compliments so that we can make this presentation very interactive, that will be very productive for you, very informative, and also very entertaining in the coming years. And we will catch you soon in the next presentation. Continue our fascinating journey in the land of BARI Punjab, Maharaja Ranjit Singh and Sikh Gurus. And see you later.